So this past weekend, my wife and we celebrated our third wedding anniversary. And for those of you that actually keep up with what the gifts are each year, one year it's cotton, this year for us, and number 3, it was leather. And my wife knew that I really loved this little leather journal, which I talked about in a couple of my other videos. But this year, she decided to get me this journal cover. It's really cool. This is actually handcrafted by a friend of mine who has been getting into leatherworking for a while, and I'll show you more about this in just a second, and we'll talk about it. But we took our anniversary trip to Wilmington, North Carolina, and we try to find cool different places every year to go to. So for our honeymoon, we went to Covington, Georgia, because we're both really big fans of Vampire Diaries and the originals and a bunch of other things that were filmed there. But also we just really thought it was a cool town and wanted to explore around and see it. But this year we went to Wilmington, and it was probably one of the most fun trips we'd ever taken. And we always try to do something special and really try to remember things. And I guess the 2 things I want to talk about today is, one, this gift that my wife got me is super sentimental because she knows that I'm really trying to journal more right now and make journaling and thought processing more a part of my life. But not only did she get something that was significant to me in that sense, but also the fact that my friend, created this himself. So that's super cool because now I have something that one of my best friends made and something that my wife picked out for me for a very special occasion. And I guess I wanted to talk about photography in that sense too, is I got really big into trying to make vlogs and just really document my life through video. But what I learned when doing that was that I started missing a lot more moments because I wasn't present in those moments, because the thing that mattered was my camera getting the shot, filming that one significant scene to make this video. And what I've determined is that when I'm taking still images, not only am I more focused in that moment, but I'm capturing just 1 second, just a millisecond even, of that moment that I can cherish and remember forever. And all the pictures you're seeing on the screen are pictures from our trip to Wilmington. And I just think that having things like this, these sentimental things that you can hold on to, that you can look at and enjoy to relive a documented moment, are wonderful. And I'm not saying necessarily that you have to photograph everything or what have you, but our journals can do the same thing. So one thing I've done, I haven't written in this journal just yet because I don't know what I want to make of this one yet. I've got my smaller journal here. This is kind of like my catch-all where I write about all my thoughts. And if you want to watch that video, it's up here. But because this journal is so special, I want to make it more. I don't necessarily want to even make it a journal. Maybe it's more of a diary telling the story of my life. I got a comment on my previous videos about the difference between a journal and a diary, and this guy basically saying, he would never call it a diary because that wasn't very masculine, what have you. But that's far from it. A journal is more about putting your thoughts down. So ideas or things that just run across your mind or you just need to get out of your brain, whereas a diary is more, for me at least, a documented experience explaining the passage of time and your experiences in life. It's more about those experiences like I'm talking about here today, like these photographs. Photographs I feel like are more of like a diary, whereas video maybe is more like a journal. It's actually recording the full thought and the process that's going along there. Maybe that's a really bad analogy. But I just wanted to say that I think it's important for us to document our lives. In some cases, just for ourselves, just so we have some type of record, whether it's visual, it's written down, however you want to record that. I think it's important for all of us. And I think, if we're talking about photos, I think it's important that we print those photos and we start making photo albums again, because physically being able to hold those and flip through them together, to me, it's so much more meaningful to have that physical element there than it is just to look at it on a screen. It's the same reason I choose to write in a journal versus type in a software or some kind of program on my computer. But whatever method that you want to take to share your journey, and you might only be sharing that journey with yourself later on. Maybe you're sharing it with a family member or a significant other or a friend, or maybe with the world. I mean, that ultimately is up to you. But whatever that medium is, just make sure that you're putting that down. Just like we talked about in the journaling, you just make everything your own. And that's it. Hopefully you could share something that you love with somebody today, even if that somebody is yourself. And just remember to try to smile a little bit. But I hope you'll take from this video what you need and make it your own. And as always, be sure to create something new today.